Okay, let's dive in. Can anyone give you a recap of like what happened, what we have done in last session? Can anyone type or talk? Okay, if there are no volunteers, let me say. So last week we continued about pandas and how to access the element in a data frame, how we can filter or how we can slice and dice the data frame. That's what we did last week. And this week we are going to dive into data visualization. Okay, so for talking about the data visualization, let me go back to the Kaggle here. And okay, so let's talk about Kaggle here. You all went to the Titanic data set, right? You all went to the data set and you were able to do something in the data set, right? Or you want me to show it again? So last week homework was working on the Titanic data set, right? Okay, so if you want to show me, I can show you again. So are you all in this one? Like I'm going to give you the link for this Titanic data set. So go there. Everybody just go here to this data set. Let me know when you're done, like when you're in this data set, when you see this one. Can you see this page when you click on this link I provided in the chat? Okay, so here what we are going to do is, this is the data. This is the data they have provided. What you are supposed to do is you're going to go to code here and you're going to add a data set. Okay, you're going to add a data set and you're going to, sorry, not add a data set, you're going to add a notebook and you're going to work with the notebook. So here is the data and here is the code. When you go to the code, what you're going to do is you're going to add a new notebook. Okay, this one. Can you see this one, the button, this button? So click on the new notebook, then a new notebook will be created for you. Okay, it is just like collab. You have the new notebook, and in the new notebook, they will be already providing this set of instructions. Do you all see this page when you click on the new notebook? Okay, so here, what we are going to do is, the first thing what you can do is, you are going to change the name of it, because that is the way you can know what kind of notebook is it. Otherwise, you won't have any, so it needs to be at least 5 characters long. Okay, let me do this one. So demo 1. So I renamed it, so it is in my account, and this is the name of the notebook. You already renamed it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to just click this one. So this is the run button. Okay, when you're going to click it, what's going to happen is it is going to give you the path. Okay, it is going to give you the path, and that is the path that you're going to use to import the data to Kaggle. Okay, so click on this first link, the first code, and then it will create a path. Let's wait for that to done. Okay, see, here is the path. Can you see this? Kaggle input test file and tested CSV. Here you have two options. One is adding the code or one is markdown. Markdown, you can use it for adding your comments or adding your notes. And the code is to add the exact code what you want to do. Okay, so here is the code. So you will click on this and you're going to read the data set, right? You're going to read the data set. So df is equal to pd dot read CSV, and you're going to give the path here. So whatever the path you have, you got it, you're going to give it here. Okay. So you're going to give this path and run it. Then the data will be imported here. This is the Titanic one. This is the Titanic one, but you're doing it in the as a notebook. See, this is the Titanic one. When you go back to the Titanic, you're creating the notebook here. Do you want? Are you following me, or do you have still issues with importing this one? Okay, no issues. Okay, so this is how you're going to import it. Then you're going to describe it. Dear. So what it is going to do is it is going to give you what the data is. It is going to describe everything. Okay, so this is how you're going to import. We are going to, in later part of this class, we are going to use this notebook. That's why I asked you to just do this, import it, and do some analysis on the data before we start the data visualization. Is everyone on the same page? You are able to create a notebook and you are able to import your this Titanic data set?
I have a question.
Yes.
So if this is part of the Titanic thing, so like, does that mean that everyone can see our code right now, or is it just for us?
No, if you want, you need to share it. See, this is the share button. If I share it, only everyone can see your code. If you're going to keep it private, they will not, no one will be able to see it. You need to share it. When you share it, you can, like right now, it is only private. And you can invite collaborators. You can invite collaborators and you can see, let's say, if I know your name, I can invite you. I can ask you to be a collaborator and I can, you can see my code. Okay. So something like that, like you can, if you know the username, you can ask them as the collaborator. I'm not sure, right? I saw her code. So if I know her, I can ask, like invite her as a collaborator and you both can work in it. But if you want to keep it private, you can keep it private. You don't need to share with anyone. If you want to keep it public, you can keep it public. It's your wish.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So this is the notebook. So we will be working on this one. So make sure you're in this page, like you are able to do that, like import data and read from Kaggle, and because we are going to use this. And any questions on this one, how we import it before we dive into the data visualization? Okay, I don't see any questions. So let's go back here. So I'm going back to my data. Okay, here is the data, right? So how we are going to read the data? So if you look at that here in the data, they already gave a rundown of the data. See, you can see there are 12 columns, okay? And you can see this is you have the passenger number, and survived, you have two sets of record. One is 0 and one is 1. 0 means dead, 1 is alive. And P class, the passenger class, they have 1 is for first class, 2 for second class, 3 for third class. And we have the name of the passenger. And then we have the sex, male or female. Then, one moment, let me go down here. See, then the age group. if you look at that age group, it is giving a distribution. See, can you see the distribution of the age group? The starting age is 0.7, and it is going until 76. And the number of siblings, we have like from 0 to 8, like how many siblings are there. Then I'm not sure about what this one, we have like 0 to 9 value parts. I don't have the data description for this. Then here, the ticket, what is the ticket? They have like a number for that, and fare, how much it costs. So this way, like this graph, can you see all this graphical visualization that gives you more about, like more information about the data? That's why like we are going to dive into Python and see how we can create all these visualization. How can we visualize the data with the graphs and charts? Okay, that is the main that is the topic for today. And for the data, you have like, I think you might have realized this is from our first or second class. We have these types of data, qualitative and quantitative. So in qualitative, we have categorical and nominal. So what is categorical data? Can you give me any categorical data example from here in this data set? Do you see any categorical data? Like how you categorize?
Name, age.
Name is not name. You have we cannot categorize by the name, right? Sex,
Name.
the gender. Yeah, gender is the good example for category. And the class, first class, second class, third class, that is also a category, right? They have a category of that class. So these are like categorical data. And then we can go back and see nominal. Nominal is like who ranked first, who ranked second, something like that, the ranking, that is the nominal data. And we have quantitative data. In quantitative data, we have discrete and continuous. So based on the data, you need to decide how you want to graph. Without understanding the data structure, you will not be able to create a graph. So the first step is to understand the data, how the data is, like what is the story behind the data. You need to understand it. Any questions on this one, like data types? Shall we move to the next one?
Can you explain the difference again?
Okay, so here we have qualitative and quantitative. Okay, qualitative is like it is going to give like the qualities of there is no numerical value attached to it. Okay, so when that qualitative is for the qualitative, you can the qualitative data you can categorize, like you can divide into categorical and nominal. Categorical is gender, like there is a great example. So male or female, or we can say other categories is like if you're going to do the category based on the age, we can say infant, child, teenage, adult, senior. So those are kind of like categorical. The same thing, age, if you're talking in numbers, that is going to be quantitative. Can you find the difference between both? The age itself, other ways to talk about ages, which generation you belong to, Gen X, Gen Y, millennial. So if you're categorizing it, that is qualitative data. But instead of doing the qualitative, if you're doing the quantitative, if your data has numbers, that is the quantitative. And in quantitative itself, you have discrete or continuous. Let's say for age, you have a continuous, right? You can say like 10 to 20, 20 to 30, something like you can have a continuous data set. Discrete is like, let's say you have a different zip codes. It is each and everything is different, right? Discrete, it is unique. You cannot have a continuous data. When you have having a continuous data, you will go for the histogram or bar graph. histogram, discrete is for the bar graph. So each and every data type will work with certain type of graph. That's why you need to know what kind of data you're working on before creating the graph.
I just don't get the difference between categorical and nominal.
Categorical or nominal. Okay, so let's say there is a marathon running. There is a marathon happening, and if you're going to divide the runners based on their gender, that is categorical. Okay, and then you are going to rank them. Okay, they finished first. The next one should, like, if you're ranking them based on their speed or if their finish time, that is nominal. The same thing with the students. Like students, you can let's say in high school you have like 4 categories of students, right? We can categorize in 4 categories. First one is like you are a freshman. Then what is the next one? Sorry, I'm kind of blanking out. Freshman, and the next one is what? 10th grader. Sophomore, senior, junior, and senior, right? That is categorical. Okay. Whereas the nominal is like who ranked first in the class, who ranked second in the class. That is the nominal. Is it clear?
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, good. So you need to know what kind of data that you're going to work on. That will help you to determine what kind of graph you're going to use. Then I'm going to dive into, these are the data visualization tools, and I have the link here. This PowerPoint will be posted, and you can go here. This link has all the data visualization tools like Matplotlib, Seaborn, GeoPlotlib, PlotPy, Bokan, Pygal, Gplot, Alter, Leather, Misango, Folium. These are the few, but we have many more data visualization tools. But for our class, we will be just working with Matplotlib and Seaborn. But there are many tools available, and each tool is specialized for each category. So go to this link to understand more about the data visualization tool. I'm not going to dive in deep. I'm just going to give you the reference material for you. Okay. Later you can go back here to this link and read about it. And other tool that I really like, it's really amazing tool. It is Streamlit. I'm not sure whether you heard about it. The Streamlit, it will give you data visualization, interactive data visualization. That means you can play with the graph, and you can adjust the parameters, and based on the parameters, it is going to adjust your graph. It is going to be interactive graph. So this is the video about how you can do the Streamlit. When you have time, you can go ahead and check this one too. Okay. And the next one, I have some reference link that I'm going to use. And this reference link, I'm also posting in my Kaggle. And few items that really stood out to me when I'm working on the visualization, and they have a better visualization techniques here. For example, this particular Kaggle, they are working on the Seaborn library, and they have a good visualization. Let me go here and okay. So if you look at that, they have a great visualization tool. They use Seaborn, and when you have time, go ahead and dive into this one. And if you click on the show hidden code, they will be showing the code. You can just mimic it, and they have awesome code. I really like it. That's why I want to show you like how they. I want to emphasize on this one particular Kaggle Nodes. Okay, let's go back. And yeah, so I have like I have few nodes that you can go ahead and take explore further. Okay, so this is about the data visualization. Any questions on that before we deep dive into Matplotlib. Okay, let's go here. So in Matplotlib, we have the diagram, right? We have the chart, and you need to know the anatomy of the figure or an anatomy of a chart, because all these words make really like everything has meaning to it. So you might have worked with a graph, right? Can you tell me what are the can you talk about the graphs or charts and what stood out and what are the parts of the graph? X label, Y label, good. Footnote, okay, good. Footnote is, yeah, that's an important one. Title, yeah, good. What is a footnote? So footnote is like it is going to tell you how you created it, or it is going to give more details about the graph, about the legends. Like, let's say if you're going to work on a graph that is with numbers. Uh, for a company financial statement, they will be reporting in millions, right? So they will have a footnote like each and everything is like this million or it's a billion, something like that. So they will be defining what the chart is doing. So that is a footnote. A footnote will give more additional information about the graph. Okay, so I'm going to make it a little bigger and we are going to talk about this. Okay, as you mentioned, yes, we have x-axis and y-axis. That is an important one. Okay, and this is just the first quadrant, right? We are going to this is the first quadrant. Now we are going to talk about the x-axis, y-axis, and this is the legend. The legend is talking about what each and everything is doing. Okay, and if you look at this is the spine. These lines are the spines, and then you have the ticks. So this one is the tick. See, this is the major tick. Like this is how it is. Uh, this is how we are assigning the values on x and y. This is the major tick, and this is the minor tick. The in between the major tick is the minor tick. Okay, and if you look at that, this is the line graph. See the line plot, and this is the markers. This is the marker that we are going to use for the scatter plot. So this is about the graph, and if you want to know more about this, you can go ahead here, the Matplotlib. They have the tutorial, and they are explaining each and everything, what each and everything. I'm not going to dive so deep into it. It is just for now, check what is x-axis, y-axis, what is the legend, title, and the marker. And the major tick, minor tick, you can just keep that in your back mind, like back. So make the major tick and minor tick. Maybe you may be using it, but just know the difference between both major tick and minor tick. Okay, so this is about the anatomy of the figure, and then I think after this, I think we can go ahead to Kaggle Nodes, and we can dive into the Kaggle Nodes, and we can create our own first graph. Okay, so let's go here. So if you click here, this is your profile page. If you look at this one, this on the top, if you click on this one, this will give you your profile page. And so it is going to, when I go here, you can edit your profile. And this is where you can find all your notebooks, whatever the notebooks you are working on. So I have these many notebooks. I have these many notebooks, and I made these two, like these two are my public notebook, other things are my private notebook. So let's go back here, Matplotlib, and I'm going to give you the link for it. Okay. Okay, I will do that again. I'm going to home. See here on the top, top left. Can you see this one? Top left. Sorry, top right.
Yeah, I can see.
Top right. I'm sorry. So click on this one. When you click on this, you will go to your profile, and this is the account settings. You can change your account settings, like how you want to show your public profile, and you can change your profiles, and you can like you can play with that one later. But for now, here is the main part I want you to concentrate. This is the code. This is the code that you're working on. Whenever you're creating a code, you don't need to go to different data sets to find your code, because you will be working with different data sets, different places. But all your code will be here in one place, here. Okay, so go here, and then here you can work on any, like these are my notebooks. So for now, I want to go here because this is the notebook for today's class, Matplotlib, and I already gave you the link for this Kaggle Nodes. Okay, so here, as I mentioned, I have all my reference materials, so you can go ahead when you're free. You can go ahead and check on the reference materials and get familiar with the data visualization. And as usual, for pandas and numpy, we imported the library, right? We need to import the library. So do you want me to copy and paste the code here, or you are able to get this link on your own? You have this one here, right? The Kaggle note, and you are able to see this, right? Or do you want to copy and paste the code here in the chat?
Do you want us to, like, which code do you want us to copy again?
No, do you want me to copy and paste this one in the chat, or you have that link? You already have this link, right? I already provided the Kaggle link. Are you able to see this Matplotlib in your screen? Or are you able to get this one?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Okay, then. I think I need to edit it. Okay, let's do this. So the first one, as usual, you're going to import the library. So the first, by importing the library, you're going to import the Matplotlib. I think I need to change the name. So here, Matplotlib, you're going to import as MPL, and then you are going to import Matplotlib pyplot as PLT. Okay, so you're going to import it. I see one more image. Yeah. Okay. So this is the first step. Okay. You're going to import the library. Then after importing the library, you're going to plot the figure. Okay. So here it is the right time to go back to here. So if you look at that, the whole thing, right? This whole thing is the figure. It is like the canvas that you are going to create the chart. So this is the whole thing is the figure. So that's why first you're going to create the figure, and the figure, you're going to create a figure with no axis. That means no rows and columns. You're going to just create the empty, you're going to create an empty axis. So if you look at that, this is going to be looking like this, the empty one. And the next one, I'm going to create with the subplots. See this one, the subplots. So I have like 2 rows and 2 columns. So see, I have 4 graphs. The data is not there, but it is going to just create me a canvas. Like if you're going to paint, you need a canvas, right? You need a canvas. The canvas may be a different size. So this is, the figure is defining your canvas, the whole area of the graph. So that is the first part. So here, this figure, the whole thing is the figure. So we just define the figure. So you can even have the rows and columns for your figures. So it can be like for this one, I have like 2 rows and 2 columns. So let's do this one moment. Let me start here. Let me run it. Edit. Give me a moment, it is loading. Whenever you're going to open it, you need to start from the beginning because it is going to give you all the libraries. Otherwise, you won't be able to run the code again. So let's say if you're going to reopen the Kaggle after some time, if you're not if you're not importing the libraries, the code behind that will not run. So it is better to start working on importing the libraries first. So once you're done with the importing the libraries, then you can see this one. Okay. So here, let me show you this. So for the first thing, it created me a canvas, and it is see this line of code. Okay. It created me canvas, and it is just without no rows and columns. And if you look at this line of code, I want with 2 rows and 2 columns. See, I have 2 rows and 2 columns. So we are just creating the canvas now. Okay, that is the figure. And out inside the figure, what we can do, see, if you see here, can you see it is kind of tight, right? Can you see this one? The numbers are not, the numbers are really not visible properly, right? So you can use this one, the same thing. You can use this line of code, plot tight layout. So what it is going to do is, it is going to give some space between your graph. See, now, can you see this one? The same thing. Let's do the same, like 2 by 2 itself here. So it is the same thing, but with this one line of code, you have a space between your rows and columns. Okay. So this tight layout is going to give you some spacing, and you can this one you can use it to make your graph more pleasing or more readable. Okay. Any questions on the figure? Right now we are still working on the figure. That means the canvas. We are still working on the canvas. Any questions on the canvas or the figure?
Is that a comma after figure the axes, or?
Yes, like, here, see figure, comma, axis. So you're defining both here, figure and axis, both here. Whereas like in this first code, you're just defining the figure, and here, then axis in the second one. Whereas here you're defining the figure and axis in the same line. It is kind of 2 variables you're passing. See, the first variable is this and the second. So that's why you have a comma here. Any questions on this one? The canvas or the figure, the big, it is it is kind of a container for your graph. Okay. Any questions? Okay, let's go back. So now what I'm going to do is, I have a data, and I'm going to just create a simple graph. So what I did, I created 3 lists, X, Y, and Z. Okay, these are the 3 lists, and I'm going to plot it. So here, for plotting the graph, this is the key. See, this PLT, you are calling the library, and this is the keyword to plot the graph. Okay, and you are passing the variable X and Y here. So when you're passing the variable X and Y, it is the simple way to, we are not defining the figure or anything. It is just the simple way to create a graph. When you're creating it, one moment. Yeah. So what's happening is, it is going to get my X value and Y value, and it is going to create just the line graph. It is a simple code to create a graph. And then you can change it. You can if you look at that, the default color it is creating with blue, right? You can change the color, you can change the line style, you can do whatever you want. So if you look at this, this is going to be, if you can see the difference between both. See, this one, I just have X and Y. This one, I have X and Y and R. So R, what it is doing is, it is going to change my line color. It is going to change my line color to red. And if you want to know about the line, like colors and color chart, here is, let me go up and show you the reference and show you here. See, this is the colors. So the Matplotlib, you have all the colors here, and all the color codings are here. Okay. And you can color code with just the name, or you can color code with the hexa color coding. You can choose whatever way you want, and this is going to give you the colors. See, and see, you can use this the hexadecimal code, or you can just use this. Just B stands for blue, green, red, cyan, magenta, yellow. I think this is the black. K is the black, and W is white. So you can do the single letter for coloring, or you can use this one, the color coding. See, this is the hexadecimal values. You can use that one. So both will work. So first we created a simple graph, right? We started with a container, then we draw a simple graph, then we change the color just with one code here.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So, are we defining new variables called FIG and AX, or are we using
here? Yeah, here. But if you don't want it, it is okay too. It is, see, I'm just going to comment it, and I'm going to just use the same thing. But this one, instead of AX, it needs to be plot, because we are calling the library. So plot, the same code here, PLT, plot, X, Y, and R. So let's do this. Okay, I commented it. This is we are defining the plot, but it doesn't, you don't need it. I just want to show the difference between both. That just this R, we change the color. If you want to change to green, see, it's going to be in green. So you can change the color, you can change the look and feel of the appearance of the graph.
What I'm like confused about is that we already made an FIG variable like before this. So is the new FIG variable like override the old one, or
it is going to override? It is going to override. This is going to override it. Whatever we created, it is going to override. But if you want to continue the same thing, see, we created here, right? See, let's say, we created this one, right? This one. Let's use this one. So if you want to use this one, you can just call it AX. So we define the figure, and then we are defining the axis here. And we can draw the graph over there. So this one, like if I don't have, like if I'm not commenting it, I need to start with AX, because in the AX is the plot that I'm going to define there.
Okay.
So this is about the graph. So I have this one. So it is the new. I'm going to redefine this one. Okay. Now I have number of columns is 5. Can you see it is going to be number of columns is going to be 5. I'm going to create 5 graphs with the same data set I have. Okay. Let's go here and do that. See, the only change, can you see this? These are the keywords. So this is the stem, and this is the bar, plot, scatter, and step. So what I did is I created the whole figure, and the figure is going to have 5 columns. I'm defining 5 columns for that figure. Then I'm going to create for each and every axis, like the index always starts with 0, right? So axis 1, like the first one, this is the first one, first graph, second graph, third graph. So I have 5 graphs. I have 5 different graphs: stem, bar, plot, chart, scatter, and step with the same data set. And if you want to change the color, you can pass it as a variable here, and you can change it. And if you look at here, let's go back here. So here, can you see this? This is the marker for the scatter plot, right? This is the marker. You can see the same marker here. See, this is the marker. So it is the default marker. We can change a marker. We can change the marker color, size, and everything. We'll do that later. But are you good with this one? Like, this is the key term. Like, this is the word. This is the syntax that we use to create different type of chat. So this is the key, like the stem, bar, plot, scatter, step. So this is the keywords that we are going to use to create the graphs. Oh, I think I have the, if you look at that in the chat, I have that slash at the end, you can delete it. Okay, the slash, you can delete it. Okay, so you're creating the graph, and I'm just passing the same argument, X and Y, and I'm creating a different variety of graphs. Any questions on this one? So we talked about how we are creating the figure.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
For some reason, it gives me an error, and I'm not sure what I did wrong.
No, did you deleted that slash in the last one? See, here I accidentally added a slash on that last one.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. I found the error. I accidentally forgot the equals. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So are you good with this one? Shall we move to customizing the graph? How we are going to customize the graph? Okay, let's move to the next one. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm creating a new figure. This is going to be a new container for my graph, fig X, and I'm going to just have one graph because I'm not passing like how many columns, how many rows I need. So it is going to be just one. Let me copy this one here. And here I'm going to pass 3 arguments, X, Y, and Z. So I have created the X, Y, and Z here. See, I have my X here, my X and Y. See, X, Y, and Z. This is my X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to pass that in my scatter plot. Okay, I'm going to pass that argument in the scatter plot. Then I want the color to be G. G is green. Okay, and alpha, it is this. It is the variable for the scatter part. And marker. What I'm saying is the marker. See this marker, right? This marker. I want it to be like a club suit. Like if you know, if you're playing the cards, you have 4 suits, right? Diamond, heart, a club, and what's the other one? Spade. So I want my markers to show like that. So this is going to my customized plot that I wanted in green color, and this is going to be marker is going to be club suit, and I want the legend. The legend is this one. See, legend. See, this is the legend. It is going to tell me what the marker is. Okay. So let me run this. See, what it did is it created a scatter plot, and the Z value, right? The size of the clover is based on the value of Z. See this Z, the Z value. So the first value is 1300. 600. So I'm not sure whether you have this one. I'm going to paste it here so you can use this one for plotting, or you can change the values in the list. Okay, play with that and change the values in the list and check what kind of graph you are getting. So here is the legend. See, this is the legend, and the legend, I call it as luck. You can call it in any name. And it is, so let's say, I'm going to call it as, what can I call? I'm going to call it as Kaggle. I'm just going to call it as Kaggle. So if you see, this is going to change. Okay, so the label you can change. So each and everything, the color, if it is green, right, I want it to be in black. So I want to change to black. So I'm changing it, it's black. So you can play with that. You can whatever you want, you can change it, and this is how you are going to customize it. Alpha, let's see what's going to happen with this one. I'm going to change to 7. Let's see what's going to happen. It is just changing the size of it or the feel of it. Let's do the same thing. So I want it to be 3 here. Let me run it. Okay, if you look at that, the same code, but it is changing the transparency of the color. Can you see the difference? That is what alpha is making. Yeah. So this is how you can customize your graph. You can customize your legend. You can customize your title. You can customize the label and the marker. Everything you can customize. Okay. So are you good with this one? I have the same code with the different marker here. Instead of club suit, I have the pentagon here. The same kind of graph I'm just doing with a different marker here. It is going to be show me the pentagon. So for this, let's say if you want to know what are the markers, see pentagon, see marker, I just put P. P is pentagon. If you want to know what are the markers available, just go back here to the reference. Here, I have a link for the marker. So if you want the point, it is going to be just a dot and a pixel. See circle, you want O. And for triangle, you can just type B. So these are the marker symbol, and you can use this marker symbol to customize your markers or in the scatter graph. Any questions on this one? That's why I have all my reference here in the Kaggle, and as well as I have it in this PowerPoint. You can go back and refer to this one. Okay. Any questions on how we are customizing the markers before we move to the next one? After customizing the marker, we are going to customize the line. Any questions or anything you want to clarify?
I have kind of a random question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was wondering why we're coding on Kaggle today instead of Collab.
The reason why is with Kaggle, you don't need to wait for me to publish the class material. You have the access, and the one thing I want you all to do is to go for a competition in Kaggle. As part of the class activity, I want you to participate in any one of the competition they have. And I want you to publish the code and get the real hands-on experience with the data analysis and data science. That is the reason I'm switching to Kaggle.
Oh, okay.
And this is the great place to collaborate. Let's say I'm thinking about doing a project for the final week. And if you want to work with a team, I think Kaggle is a great place to work as a team. Then you can you can collaborate. Like I showed you, you can share and collaborate with your teammates. And this is the place that you have all the data set and the code, and sample codes are here. So that's why we are going in Kaggle now.
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify how you got the pentagon label.
Oh, here the P marker is P.
Okay.
See, so that's why here, like I have the other link, right? The markers. So here is the marker symbol. See, pentagon. See, pentagon is P. If you want octagon, it is going to be 8. So each and every symbol has its own marker. See, can you see this one? So you can go ahead and change it. Whatever marker you want, you can go ahead and change it and play with that, because each and everything was going to give you a different look and feel, right? Let's say I want to have this try right. See this one. I'm going to choose number 4. Let's do that. 4. Instead of pentagon, I'm going to see.
What happens
4.
if you use 100?
Pardon?
What happens if you put 100?
Where 100? Which one is 100?
Like make the marker 100.
100. So let's see whether do you have 100 here?
I don't think so, but like what would happen if we put it there?
Can you try and tell? Because here we need to pass the values, right? If there is no values here, if that 100 is not in the library, I'm not sure whether it will work. Let's try it. See, it came with the error because this 100 is not defined. So you need to use anything that is defined here in the built-in library. Got it? So let's go back to pentagon again, because that is a defined one. We are going to use the pentagon here. So you can change your marker. You can change your marker like the color also. See the color, let's say you want a different color, you can use a different color here. Color by value, color bar, see. So you have a bar and color demo, see all these colors, whatever colors. You can just say blue or you can say just B. Okay, or if you want, you can just have these value, like any of the hexadecimal values, you can have it for your colors. Let's say I'm going to change to yellow. I want my pentagon to be yellow. Let's go back here and I'm going to change my pentagon to yellow. Why? So now the color is yellow. Clap suit, I'm not sure. It's going to be there. I'm not sure. See, if you look at that, this is the $sign, and this is, so what they are doing is this is kind of a customizing one. So research about how to customize the marker, you may find it there. Other than that, whatever the marker that is defined here, you can use the marker here. Okay. Let's go back. Okay, so we talked about the markers, we talked about the colors. Then what I'm doing is I'm changing my line style. See the line style, I'm changing this X and see, I'm going to, this is the code. Let me give you the code. So what I'm doing here is I'm changing my color style. See, the style of the color is going to be different. See, I want it to be red and it needs to be this line. And for the other line, I want it to be green and I needs to be, this marker is going to be the upside down. So it is going to give me the triangle. So, and also if you look at that here, I'm adding more. I'm setting my label, X label as X-axis and Y label as Y-axis. And I have my title. I'm adding my title here. So here I'm introducing more things here. First, we started with the canvas. Then we created a simple graph. Then we changed our marker, customized the marker. Now we are customizing the line graph, and we are adding the X label and Y label, the X axis and Y axis label, and we are adding a title. So this is kind of, we are customizing the plots, like how, this is few ways to customize it. Any questions on this one? Let's say I'm going to show, I just purposely hided one line. I'm going to show that. And see, I want it is like the blue one. See, blue, and it's going to be a square. BS. So blue square, BS. Can you see the difference how we are customizing it? Each and everything. You can do the same thing here, like the labels that we did here. Let's say this is the line graph, right? Comma, or, and I want to dash. Let's see whether it is working. Yeah, see, I customized it. So default is blue, and if you're customizing it, you can customize the line and you can customize each and every item. And for customizing the line, this one, I think I have one more reference for that. I will show you that. Let me go up. See, line styles. So these are the line styles you have. These are the available line styles you can have, and go for look, read it and check, like this solid is the it is going to be the default, but if you want different line style, you can have this line style. Okay. Any questions on customizing the graph? So when you're done with working on the Kaggle, what you need to do is you're going to save it, file, and save version. See, you're going to save it, and I'm going to save this one. So when it is saving, all the changes that you made is going to be saved. Okay. And I think this is available for you right now, right? I made this one a public, and you can have this one. I need to change this name. It is not Mat, it is Matplotlib. Okay, I changed the link. Now it is going to be the new link. So you have access to this one, right? This link, the Kaggle link. Okay, so I just want to introduce to the basics of the graphing. Now we are going to do the graphing in our Titanic data set. Okay, I hope you all have the Titanic data set. I'm going to open the Titanic data set. I'm going to go back here. Where is my code? So I'm going to go back to my Kaggle, and I'm going to get my second notebook. That second notebook is the data visualization. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the data from the Titanic data set. I hope you already did that import part, and I'm going to do some filtering and dicing and slicing of data. Then I'm going to do some graphing over here. Okay. Shall we dive into this pandas from pandas, how we are going to use the Matplotlib? Because the first one I showed you just to create a graph from a list. Now I'm going to show you how you're going to create the graph from the Panda data set. Okay. So I hope you all have this one. Let me edit it. Let's go back here. I'm going to give you this Kaggle workbook also. So the first one, as usual, you're going to run this code. Where is my first one? Okay. I think I need to go to the first one. I'm not seeing that. Did I deleted it? Yeah. I think it is going to error out. Let's see. Usually you need to have the first part of the code always in order to work with the data. Let's see if it is going to error out. I will copy and paste that code and we'll go from there. Give me a moment. Yeah, it is going to error out. So let me go back to this one. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm going to copy the code, the first part here, and then I'm going to start from there because this code is always needed for starting. So I'm going to just start here. I'm going to add. So it is going to import the NumPy and it is going to import the directory and the operating system. Once it is done, my other code will run. So that may be always like, you need to have this first part. Make sure you have this first part. What do we do with this one on a new notebook? Yeah, the new notebook, this will be always there, right? When you're creating a new notebook, the first part will be always there. This when you're anytime when you're creating a new notebook, you will see this first set of code. You start running it, then you will be running the remaining code because you need this one in order to find the path. Or if you know the path, you don't need to do anything, but it's better to import the NumPy and Pandas, or you can import it here itself, like in the second set of library, the second set of code. Okay. So what I did is I imported the Matplotlib and I imported the data. See, the data set by Titanic data set. I'm importing it here, and then I am just describing the data. So it is going to give me like what is the count and the mean, standard deviation, minimum, max, and all the inferential statistical data. It is going to give me that. Sorry, the descriptive. You cannot access my code, this one. Okay. Let me save this. And I think it is already shared. Hopefully. Oh, you can now? Okay, good. So it is running. Give me a few minutes, let it run, then we can go back and check that. Okay, so then what I'm doing, I already talked about the data type, right? The categorical data and the numerical data. So after importing the data, what I'm doing is I'm just selecting the categorical data. What are the categorical data available here? Can you see what are the categorical data available here? See, we have the name, sex, ticket, cabin, and what are the categorical data. That means it is not numerical. I think someone also said like name when we talk about the categorical data, we can call it as a category, but the thing is we cannot kind of group it. That's what I meant. It is not a category, but it's a categorical data. So you have names, sex, ticket, cabin, and what. Whatever that is not numerical is your categorical data. Okay, so I'm finding what are the categorical data. Then this code, see, n unique. I want to know what are the unique values in each and every column. Okay, so I'm going to run this and it is going to give me what are the unique values in each and every column. In passenger ID, I have 418. What do you mean by unique? Can anyone define it?
thing. Unique is anything that's not repeated over and over.
Anything that is not reported. That's right. So why do we care about unique data?
Because unique data shows the variety of what the data is, like of how diverse the data is.
Yes, exactly. And let's say if you're going to, can you give me samples of data that needs to be unique always? For example, in your school, you have a student ID, right? Yeah, student ID. Yeah, student ID needs to be always unique. And in here we have all we have the SSN, right? Social security number. It needs to be unique, right? It cannot repeat. And for any vehicle, you have the VIN number, right? For any car or any vehicle, you have VIN number. The VIN number needs to be unique. So for certain type of data, you need to have a unique value. In this data set, the unique value is passenger ID. Each and every passenger was given an ID, and that is the unique value. Okay. And survived, you have two categories: survived or not survived, 0 and 1. And P class, it is the what is the passenger class. And name, we have 418 unique name. And sex, you have like 2. And age, we have like 79 unique values. And the siblings, you have 7. And patch, we have 8. I'm not sure what a patch means. We can check that. And ticket, we have 363 type. And fare, we have 169. And cabin, you have 76 type. Embark, like which port they embark, we have 3 types. So this unique value is going to give you the unique values in each and every column. Okay, this is really a key value. The unique ID is really a key value. So here we can say the passenger ID is unique and name is unique for this data. There is no repetition on those 2 data. Okay. Then I want to know, this is already we did the right, that columns. So the reason why I need the columns is because when I'm working on my graph, I need to spell the name of the column exactly as it is. Otherwise, it is going to error out. So that's why I need the columns. Then I want, so here, the first, here in this code, the code number, this code, what we are doing is, I want any category data. I'm using the keyword include. Here, I want anything that is not category, anything that is number I want. So these are the numerical data. So the passenger ID, survived, P class, these are the category, not categorical data. That means it is going to give me the numbers. Okay. Then, so what so this is where I'm going into the graphing of this data set. So what you need to do is, we already imported the, we already imported the Matplotlib, right? See, we already imported here. See, we already imported, and we imported the pyplot. So what you're going to do is, when you're creating the graph, you're going to call this library PLT, and I want a bar graph. Okay, I want a bar graph, and I want on these 2 variables, based on their gender, based on their survival. Okay, so when I'm going to run it, it is going to give me the bar graph that, see, I can say only the female survived. I don't see any male survived here. So it is going to give me the it is going to give me the bar graph for this one. Okay, because bar is the keyword here, the syntax, or this is the keyword to create the bar graph. And can you see here, instead of X and Y, it is similar to the prior one. Instead of X and Y, what I'm doing is, I'm passing the column names, and I'm calling the data frame. This is the name of the data frame, and I'm passing the name of the column, and that is how my graph is created. So when you're working with Pandas, what you're going to do is, you're going to start with your data frame name and your column name. So that is your X and Y, or the argument that you're going to pass by your graph. Any questions on this one? You can see the difference between how we created with X and Y and how the difference between here, right? So we are just passing the name of the columns here and we are calling the data frame. Are you able to follow this one? Any questions on this one?
I'm getting an error.
Okay. What's the error?
After the import Matplotlib one, it says file not found error.
Oh, here you're not able to, did you copy and pasted your, see this one? Whatever that you got from the first?
I think I have that.
Okay. So you're getting error here itself?
Yeah.
Okay. So you did the path right? This one, the path.
Yeah, I just copied and pasted the code.
Okay. And how about this? Did you run this one first? The first code?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen and we can check that one?
Okay.
Anyone have issues or it's only for Medha? Okay, let's do that. Give me a moment. Okay. Can you share your screen? I stopped sharing.
Okay.
You can start sharing.
Screen. 1 sec. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. So you have. Can you run that first one? I don't see the output on that one yet. So when you run it, you will see at the path on the bottom. Run it.
Yeah, it's not showing up.
Because it needs to bring the path. Okay. One thing, can you do me a favor? Can you go back to the data set? Let's start from the beginning. Go to the Titanic data set. Yeah, Titanic data set and the code. Go to code and new notebook. Yeah, click that. And the first code, set of code, let it just run it when it comes up. Let's run it. Yeah, run this one. So this is how it is setting up your environment. Once it is set up, it is going to give you the path, then you will go from there.
So does that mean I can't like put in any other code until I run this one?
Yes, exactly. You need to run this one first, then only, because when I shared, I had the same issue, right? I have an issue with my code, because you need to just run it. It is going to set up your environment first. See, you have this path, right? Yeah. Then you add a code here. You add a code, then you start from here. You can get rid of the other one and you can start working on this Kaggle.
Okay.
You can even delete this one. Okay.
Okay.
Add your code and start with your code here. The reason why I'm emphasizing on this one, because this week also we are going to do a homework from the Kaggle dataset, and I want you to do the same thing here. That's the reason I want to make sure everyone is comfortable with Kaggle here.
Okay. Should I stop sharing now?
Yeah, you can stop sharing. Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions on how to import, or you still need help with Kaggle? Okay, so let me start sharing and we'll continue the class. Okay, So what I have done is, so as I mentioned here, I'm I did like I'm calling the plot library and the bar. I'm going to do the bar chart with this one. Then the same thing, I'm going to do the histogram. Here, if you look at that, my number of columns is 4. See, I'm going to create a 4 columns and I'm going to create 4 histograms based on the categorical value. The age is not category, but it's going to just create a histogram. See, it is going to just bin it and it is going to create the histogram. If you see, everything is blue, right? Because I have no customization done in this one. And I don't have any legends, or I don't have the name for the x-axis or y-axis. I don't have the name for there is no title, nothing, because it is applying just the basic graph. But you can customize it. So I just have the basic graph here. Okay. So it is going to give me the histogram of all these values. So what I'm doing is I'm calling the hist, see this hist, and I'm calling the data frame, and I'm passing the column name here. The one thing you need to be really careful about is the column names, it is case sensitive. See, it has age, right? If I'm going to change to age, like a small letter for this one, I'm going to get an error, because see, this is going to give me an error because there is no value with age, like with a small letter. So it is case sensitive. You need to be using exactly the same name as your column name. Okay. Then I think this is the pie chart. This is the same thing I think I have already showed you, like using that tight layout one. I think I have already showed you there in the other code. And this is the pie. This is the pie chart. So for pie, we are using the pie. This is the keyword. And what I'm doing is, it is based on the count. I want it based on the passenger class count. And here I am adding the labels. See, 1, 2, 3. I'm adding the labels for the values. So this is the pie chart. Okay. Then what I'm doing is, I'm doing a pivot on it. Okay. I'm doing a pivot on it, and I'm creating a bar chart based on the pivot. So what I'm doing is, here the pivot is like summarizing it, summarizing the values. So I'm summarizing the values based on the gender and the class. So when I go here, it is going to give me, see, this is the, it is not the, if you look at that, it is not going to, it is not a meaningful one, but I want to show you that you can do this one too. This graph may not be a meaningful one. It is not giving you any value. It is not a value added one, but I just want to show you can create a pivot and you can create a chart based on that. Okay. And the same thing here. Here it is based on the
pivot.
Yeah. Pardon?
What do you mean by pivot?
Pivot is grouping by. So let me show in the Excel, then I think you will be able to understand it. Give me a moment. Let's do this. I'm going to show you this, the student list. It is if you are familiar, this is the Agra Mathscicle student list. So I have the student ID, student name, and the school, and all their personal information. So what I want to do is, I want to know how many students are in each class. So what I can do is, let's insert a pivot table. And here I want to know, like, this is the class, right? Where is the class? This is the class, and I want to know how many students are in each class. So this is the pivot, like you are summarizing for each and every class, how many students are enrolled. This is going to give me the summary of students enrolled in each class. Let's say I want it by the country. I don't want it by class. I want it by country. See, I can show the graph based on the country. Each and every country, how many kids are enrolled for Math Circle. And you can play with that. You can do with a grade. Say these are the grade level, how many students are enrolled in the Math Circle. So pivot is nothing but summarizing. You can summarize by count. You can summarize by, see, if you look at that, you can summarize by count, sum, average, max, min. In any options, you can summarize it. So this is called pivot. So what I have done here is in same thing, I have done the pivot based on the gender and the class. So when I did that pivot, this, whatever the pivot there, so I'm going to get this value. Okay, so it is same thing. If you look at that, it is the survived. So if you look at that, it is kind of a percentage only, like 46% of the people with first class survived, 32% of the second class survived, 33% of the third class survived. So it is going to give me the summary of like people who survived based on the class. Okay, and here I'm creating the same thing with a like I'm creating the scatter plot. So I did not define the marker. See, so if I'm not defining the marker, it is going to create with just the blue dots. If I want to create a marker, I need to pass a value here. I will show you in the later graph, but this is how you can create a scatter plot. And this is the same thing. This is the plot, like I'm saying like how many survived. Now I'm having the count. Previously I have that what is it? I have that percentage, right? Now I have with the what do you call this count. Here I'm doing the group by count. This is kind of similar to the pivot. See the pivot here, but here it is coming as the percentage. Here it is coming as the count. And yeah, this is what I want to show you, how we can customize the scatter plot. See the scatter plot here. See, can you see this one? This is just blue. And it is going to give you the fair and the age. And let's do with the fair and the gender. And for gender, what I'm going to do is I'm going to differentiate male and female with different colors. So you can see the graph here. So if you look at that, this is the single color. Okay, and here I'm differentiating male and female with a different color. You can do the scatter plot, and you can even change the marker here. See the marker here is, I'm not defining the marker here. If you want to define the marker, you can just define the marker, and you can show it in a different marker. Instead of the round, you can show it as a different marker. So this is how you can customize the graph. You can get the data from the data frame, and you can go ahead and create the graphs. Okay, so I'm going to save this version so it will be available for you. I think it is the time for a little break. If you want to go for a 10 minutes break, we can come back and meet in 10 minutes and get your questions, like collect your questions, and we'll meet in 10 minutes and we can answer your questions. Okay. I hope everyone is back, and we can start working on the questions and the homework for the next week. Any questions you have so far with the data plotting, graphs and charts?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Will the Kaggle thing be posted on the slideshow for this week?
It is already online when you
Okay.
go to, so I'm just going to give you the link again in the chat. So when you go to this link, you will be able to just find it now. It is already there. You don't need to wait for me to post. But the presentation will be posted. The PowerPoint will be posted in the Matplotlib and the class material page. The Kaggle is already there for you. Both like Matplotlib and the data visualization is both there for you. You can just go ahead and access it.
Thank you.
Any questions on this one? Any questions on like what we did so far, the plotting, the figure, axis, color, marker, all those terms. Those terms may feel really overwhelming for the beginning, but once you start coding, you will know what you're doing and you will be able to follow and read all the code. So if you don't have any questions, I think it is time to go to the homework for the next session, because I want to be really clear of what I'm expecting from you. So let me share my screen. And for the next week homework, this is what I want. Okay. We are going to use this Kaggle data set. This data set is about the Tesla stock price. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a new notebook. You're going to import the data, describe, and explore the data set. So explore means you're going to find like what is the shape, size, everything. You're going to find it. And then you're going to find the unique values. See, I showed the code for the unique values right here, the unique values. So you're going to use the same thing. See, this is the unique values. You're going to do the same thing, okay? Then you're going to group by year and month. So you're going to group by year and month. Here I group by, I think I have a group by class here. Yeah, see, here I have the group by, right? You're going to group by year and month, and you're going to find the average price per year for open, close, low, and high price of the data. And then you're going to create graphs and charts using Matplotlib, and you're going to customize it. I don't want the plain chart. I want you to have a label it. You need to change, show the difference between the markers, or you're going to create at least 10 charts. You can go ahead wild how many charts you want. You can do that, but I want minimum of 10 charts, and add labels, title, legends, everything. Okay. And then you're going to find what is the highest and lowest volume date. And you're going to write an inference on that particular date. Why do you think the volume is low? Why do we think the volume is high for the date? That means you need to go ahead in the internet and you're going to research for the particular date and see what happened to the Tesla stock. So let me click here. This is the data set, right? Let's go here. So this is the data set. So what you're going to do is, this is the data set. You're going to go back to notebook and you're going to create a notebook here. Okay. You're going to create a notebook and you're going to work on this one. Okay. And if you look at that, the data, I can just walk you through the data. So it has 7 columns. The data set has 7 columns. The first column is the date. The second column is the highest price for that particular date. And if you look at that, it is going from $46 or 46.9 to 1.2K. You can see how the stock price rose like within like the span of time, like how the stock price rose. And the date frame is from September 29th, 2019 to April 10, 2022. Okay. And lowest price, what is the lowest price? The 44.9. and for that particular day, this lowest price is for the particular day. Okay. Then what is the opening price? What is the closing price? So when the day open, this is going to be the opening price. When the day close, this is going to be the closing price. And the volume. How many stocks were traded on a particular day? For example, on this day, like, see, for this day, you have like how many? It is about 29 million stock, like 29 million were traded on that particular day. Okay, it is the stock volume. So my question is on based on the volume. And what is the adjusted close? Like when the stock split are happening, you may have an adjusted close. So you're going to import this data set to Kaggle, and you're going to work on this data set, and your homework is going to find all this. And what you're going to do is, I want you to submit the link. Let's say if you don't want to have your link public, you can add me as a collaborator. Okay, those are the two ways that you can share. If you want to keep your notebook public, you can make that public and send me the link. If you want to keep it private, you can do that too, but add me as a collaborator. You can find my name in Kaggle, and when you're adding your notebook, when you're in the notebook, you can you see I have already a version of it. If I want to share, I can share it, I can do the sharing, and I can ask someone to collaborate. And if you look at that, this author, this person already has something. See, if you look at that, he has used the NumPy and Seaborn to create the data set, and he already did a lot of analysis. You can even mimic his thing, like how he has done, and how like the plots, but he's using Seaborn. But I want you to use the Matplotlib. Okay, that's why I'm giving this one. I want some graph, something similar to this, but you're going to use the Matplotlib. Okay, and you're going to create all these charts, like how many charts you want. You can create a chart, and you're going to analyze the data, and you're going to give me the what do you call your you're going to share me the Kaggle notebook. Okay, any questions on this one? See, this is the stock price. Where is the data set? Let's go to the data set and find this one. I think I need to give you this. Oh no, this is until March. Give me a moment. Let me get another data set and I can give you that one. I want the latest one, whatever that is the latest. So give me a moment. I can update the data set and give to you. So are you able to follow what I need? Like you are going to import the data, whatever the data set I'm going to give, and you are going to describe the data and explore it, and you're going to get the unique values, and you're going to get the average price and adding chart, and you're going to write your inference on the volume on the data. Any questions? So are you clear with the homework? What is the expectation? Let me know if you have any questions. You can message me in the message center and I will take your questions from there. Okay. So I think it is time to go for the quiz. Let's go back to the quiz. You're going to take it as a home, right? So you finish it. Maybe next week we can review it. Okay. Any questions on the homework before I go to the next topic? Okay, let's go to the next topic here. So I want to recognize these people for completing their homework this time. Varsha is great work. I see both your Kaggle notebook and the Pandas certification. Good work. And Pave, good work. And I'm not able to see your screenshot, but it says you are completed, but I'm not able to see your Kaggle notebook. Eddie, thank you for completing the Pandas training. And Sanju, I think you sent me the link. I'm not able to access it. That's why I'm not able to add your name. I already messaged you. So when you get a chance, let me know. I need to see the link or the completion certificate. So, and here is my Kaggle link. And before winding up, I have like a few things to add. Have you ever heard about this program, Beaverworks? Akshita, thank you for bringing this one to our table. And this Beaverwork is a summer program that if you want, you can register. Okay, you have until April 30th. And what they will do is, you will be working on Python coding for certain pathways. So that's why I want you to bring this one. See, for example, this autonomous race car. So here, what you will do is you will be working on a Python library that they have for the race car. And you're going to learn Python programming and you're going to code for the race car and you're going to code using Python. I thought it will be a good one for anyone who wants to explore more on Python. This is going to give you the talk about all about the race car simulation and how you can use your Python library and how you're going to build this one for your with the code, your race car. And they have more programs too. See this one for the underwater vehicle. This is also regarding the data analysis and image processing. And if you are going to see, it's with Python. It is also with Python. So try to Akshita, do you want to talk about it now? And you can take the screen, and you already enrolled in this program, right? And how was your experience, and what did you learn from this program? And what do you want to tell your fellow students about it? The floor is yours, Akshita.
Okay. Yeah, so I did this program. I did the fall session, and it was the race. I signed up for the race car course, and it was really fun. So it's through a library at MIT, and it's the Beaverworks library. So in that, there are like a few advisors, and there are people who are also from different schools that also help teach it. And so they also have like experience with like programming and coding and stuff like that. And so in the fall course, I was able to work along with like other people who had a similar interest in that specific course. And we did group projects like every week. And there would be a slideshow presentation where they would teach us some Python like topics and just skills. And then we'd use those skills and do like a small project at the end of each class. And then in the end, we there's a few like programs and stuff you have to there's some things that you have to download to be able to use the like the software that they use in the program. And with that, we were able to make the race car like go through obstacles and stuff like that. And it was really fun. I really liked it because we were able to work with other people and they were like in the same grade too. So it was really nice to be able to work with other people across the country and work on a challenge together.
Was it online or in person? And how was your application process? Can you talk about how did you apply and what are the items that needed for the application also?
Yeah. So for the fall program, for the application process, it was just like on the website, there was an application that you just had to fill out. And it just asks some simple questions like why you're interested in doing it and stuff like that. For the fall program, I didn't need any recommendation letter or anything like that. But for the summer program, which happens after fall, and there's also a prerequisite spring course to do the summer program. So for that one, you do need a recommendation from one teacher. But the application process is pretty simple, so it wasn't too complicated.
Thank you, Akshita. And if anyone is interested in it, you can reach out to Akshita, or you can check this website, and she's really happy to help you. Okay, and she introduced this to us, and this is a great program, and I believe you will get the programming concepts and the data analysis concept when you're in these regulated courses also, and you'll also get a certificate at the end of the course. You will be getting a certificate too. Yeah. And if you have any other programs like that, bring it to the table so we will know, like people will know about it, and they will get used to this these programs. And you're also so I think you're also working on all the AP exams, right? Most of you are high schoolers, and you're all working on the AP exams, right? Okay, so if you let's say if you're really busy with the AP exam, if you want to take the homework to the following week, that is okay with me, because I know you will be really busy with the AP exams. That is very important to you. And the homework, if you're not able to complete before next Tuesday, that's fine. But if you can complete, that's great. If you cannot complete, we will take it to the next following week. Okay, I just want to give that a leeway for this AP examinations coming up. That's what I want to give. And anyone is taking a SAT or ACT?
I'm going to take it, I think.
Oh, you're going to take it. Okay.
I'm also
So
taking-
okay, are you taking ACT or SAT?
SAT.
SAT. Okay. ACT. Okay. So even in SAT and ACT, you have the data analysis questions, right? So when you're working on the data and the graph, just keep in mind whatever we discussed now. This may helpful when you're analyzing the data in that exam and answering few questions there. Okay, because I have seen that questions have the graphs, charts, and you need to infer from the charts and graph, right? So just keep in mind like what kind of data they are using, and like what kind of chart it is, and how you are going to infer with that chart. Just read it and you will be able to answer it. Keep this notes like data types, data structures, and the graph on your back of your mind when you're answering those questions. Okay. And shall we talk about our final project? I want to get your opinion on, or your feedback on the final final project or final exam. So do you prefer to have an exam or a final project, and you want to present it during the final week? I think the final week is going to be on, it is going to be May, right? It is going to be on 28th, right? 28th exam, okay. Okay, everybody want exam. So if you want exam, that's fine. Or okay, so we can do an exam then. Otherwise, I thought of if you want to do a project on the data analysis, I thought of assigning it. But most of you are asking about the exam, so we can talk about the exam and work on it. And the exam will be we'll be talking from the stats. So the final exam is going to be the full course. It is going to be statistics, NumPy, Pandas, and data visualization. So if you, it is going to be the whole thing. And probably next week, we may talk about the machine learning a little bit, probably, but I'm not decided yet. So the exam is going to be for the whole thing, okay? And if you want to review for the exam, that's fine. We can do a little review session next week. If you want to have a review session, I can take like 30 to 40 minutes for the exam review. Okay, that is done. Okay, so do you, let's go back to our reference here. I think it is going to be in the other one. Okay, this one. This is the one thing I want you to work on. This is the tutorial on the data visualization. Okay, and it is going to talk about each and everything, like how you can visualize the data and how you can combine. See, if you look at that, this is a combination of two things. It has a line chart and it has a scatter plot. So in the same graph, they are combining two different graphs. So try to learn this one. This is going to talk about all the data visualization and examples and code. And if you want to complete this tutorial, please go ahead and complete it. And this will give you more, more understanding on the data visualization. Okay, so let me give you this link. I'll see the link that I have sent you.
Tell me how the water goes. Tell me how the water goes.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see if you look at that, they have did different, like even in plot they have did a different they did a plot on various ways, and it is really colorful and they customized it a lot. See, can you see this one? And like all the charts are really great how they have done this. But this one, they are using the Seaborn. Like most of it are Matplotlib. These are Matplotlib, and this starts with the Seaborn. So try to review it. And for our exam, I'm going to just stick with the Matplotlib. Okay. Any questions on this one? And if you want the data set, see, they have already have the data set here. See the data set, I think they have this data set. See, here is the data set they have. You can start with this data set and you can use the same data set that they have used to explore and learn the plotting and charts and graph. Okay, then. Since we decided on exam, I thought of if it is project, I allocated like 20 to 30 minutes to talk about the project. Since we stick to the exam, I'm not going to talk about the project right now. And I think that's it I have for today's class. Anything else you want to talk or any questions you have?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last week, I was really stuck on the difference between iLock and lock and how like
okay.
it's like.
Okay, let's do that. Give me a moment. Let me open that presentation. Give me a moment and I will do that. So we were talking about how to access the data, right? And we were talking about lock and iLock, right? So the lock, it is you're going to use the label or you're going to use the name of the column, whereas for iLock, you're going to use the position, the indexes.
So say in a data set, if we put this code into the data set, it'll give the, if we put lock method, it'll give us the so in this case it'll give us like the first three rows and then the first three rows and then the
and this column it is going to give, it is not it is also, it always starts with 0, right? The indexes. So it is going to give the first row, it is going to skip the first row, it is going to start with the second row here. Because the indexes always in Python, indexes always starts with 0. So it is going to go ahead.
So if I do iLock method, that'll give me a specific value.
So the iLock method is going to give you the data based on the indexes. Here you are doing the slicing and dicing based on the index. You don't need to provide the column names here. You don't need to know the row numbers or row name, like column names. Here you can just go with the indexes. Okay, it is starting with always 0. Whereas here you're going to provide the label. You're going to give the what is the column name? You're going to provide the column name here. So that is the difference between iLock and the lock. And see here, it is going to give you an example here. So here iLock, you are giving the position, see 0, 1, 2, 3. Whereas you are going to here, you want the list of row. You're going to give the list of. Here also you are going to, the row is going to be always the same thing, right? Only the column here, you will have the column names. Here you are giving the column range. So that is the difference between the lock and the iLock.
Got it. So if I use lock, I can get a single number more accurately than using iLock method, correct?
No, it's not like the case, right? Even in iLock, you can get a single one. Let's say I want row number 3, just the row number 3, and I want only one column, that is the first column. So I can say 3, 0. That means I'm going to get what is the value in row 3, index row 3, and the column 0, the first row, first column. So here also you can get the specific value for that particular from the data frame. So
it's just a matter of what
it's a matter of how you're filtering it. Here you're going to provide the name, here you're going to provide the indexes. So let's say if you don't know the name, see here in the Kaggle, see when you go here, okay, let me go here. So here I'm getting the column names, right? When you don't know the column names, you can utilize the indexes, iLock. And if you know the column names and if you want to provide it, you can provide it and get the lock. With the lock method, you can get that one.
Got it. So with the lock method, if I want to get multiple values in the lock method, do I just go? So I put the row name and then the column.
So column. The row is the label. So you're going to use the same thing. For the row, it is going to be it is going to be the same thing, right? The row is always going to be like, it is also going to be the same thing, the row, because row, you don't have the names, right? For row, only for columns, we have the names. Rows always go with the indexes. So you'll always give the index here also for the row. The only difference you can see is when you are giving for the rows, like when you're using the iLock method, The rows, if you just for the rows, I'm just talking about the rows here. This will be excluded. Number 2 will be excluded. It will start with 0 because your indexes always start with 0, right? 0 and 1. It is going to give only 0 and 1 when you're using the iLock method. If you're using the lock method when you're slicing it, it is going to give 0, 1, and 2, all 3 rows. So you need to know what is the difference between the lock and the iLock, because there is some difference, right? You can see the difference. So you need to know the difference in order to use, like, let's say you want only 5 rows. For a lock method, what you will do, you will start from 0 to 4, right?
Yeah.
So here you will say 0 to 5 because the 5th row will be excluded here.
Got it.
Okay, so you need to know the difference between lock and iLock. That will help you to slice and dice the data.
Got it.
Okay. Okay. So now you had the question about null, right? And null is kind of like a no values. There is no value. If there is no value, we call it as null. And the pandas will treat it as none or none. So it's not a number, because if it is, let's say, if it is a categorical value here, if it is a categorical value, if nothing is there, it will say NONE. See, for the categorical values, these categorical values, it is going to see NONU. And if it is a number, numerical value, it is going to say NAN. So that is the difference between none and none. So none is for your categorical value or the string value, and NAN is for your numbers. Okay. So because sometimes when there is no values here, you need to, like, sometimes, let's say, I can give you an example here. Okay. So this is going to be no value because there is nothing here, right? So when you're going to count, it is going to give Excel will treat differently. So let's say if it is let's say it's none. Okay, it's none because it's a numerical value, right? So if you look at that, it is going to give you count of 6, right? And if you're going to find the sum of it, let's say sum of this, what do you think it will happen? So here it is excluding, but when you're doing certain operation in Python, it may give an error. So what will happen is you need to replace this none. So you need to find if there is a null, you're going to check whether there is a if there is a null, and you're going to check if there is a null, you will be using isNull function. And to check if there is not null, you will be using not null function. And drop NA means you're going to drop any null values from the list, you're going to drop it. And fill NA is what you're going to do is you're going to fill that null value with the bottom value or the top value. You can fill in any ways. Okay. And replaces, you can replace that null value with a particular value. You can provide it. Interpolate means you can say you want to replace that with the mean of the value or median. So you can handle the null values in many ways. So this is really important for the data analysis. The reason why is when there are null values, when you're doing some calculation, when you're doing some operations, it may not work. That is why you need to handle the missing values. Any questions on this one? And I see a question regarding the Beaver. Let's go back to the Beaver program. It depends on what is your interest is. Like if you want to go for they have various programs, right? Look at each and everything and check what kind of here they are using programming in Python, programming in C, assembly. So all these things like for the cyber security, if you want to get more if you want to go for this one, it is going to give you more about like all these languages you need to know, like programming in Python, programming in C, assembly, and it is going to give you the outline of the course. So look into each and every course and decide what you want to do it. The reason why I brought up a race car is like most of the people, they are like I see and kids, you are about to get the driver license or you are about to get the excited about driving. So I thought it may be a good course for you because it is talking about the obstacles and how you're going to build your race car using the Python and the race car package they have. And this is kind of going for the autonomous car also. So, and they have other program. Yeah, I think I have seen this one. What else? Yeah, this one, autonomous underwater vehicle challenge. Here also you're going to use the data analysis, image processing. For when I'm talking about image processing, Matplotlib has the image processing also. If you want, see, you can talk about like how the image can be processed, because image is nothing but you can save the image using the NumPy. You can save that because it's all the pixels, right? You can save that image with a NumPy. See, you can read the image with a NumPy, and you can modify that with like few lines of code. You can change the color, you can change the contrast. So everything, like a lot of things you can do with NumPy and Matplotlib to when you are working with the image. So this is also a good program. Can you hear me now? Okay. Sorry about that. My headset died and I need to dial in back. Okay. So any questions on the Beaver network or the Beaver program or any other topics that we have covered so far? Okay. Okay. If you don't have any questions, I think we can wrap up the call and we can meet in 2 weeks. And if you have any questions in the homework, please send me a message and I will try to respond as soon as possible. And complete your Pandas course and we will talk from next, we will continue next week. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. If you have any questions, you can email info@agoramastercode.org or comment below and we'll reply back. Maybe. And if you want to see practice things or anything about us, you can visit our website, which is basically the end of the email, but without the info and the end. So bye!